Okay. I'm just looking at the
Please
title
stop
of the
getting
other
snippy.
one. So.
I wasn't. I answered. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be. Music.
Now kiss me on the mouth.
Yes.
Here's the intrusion.
7 days a geek, 7 days a geek, oh, 7 days a geek, 7 days a geek, oh. Greetings and salutations, get ready to binge watch with 3 geeks. Couldn't stop Cole from eating, now he's a workout keto neighbor. Jason the Angry Ginger from Monkey Poo Studios, Limp and Quad Father gives us therapy from his couch. We're talking Netflix and Hulu, everything in the streaming world. Join our weekly watch party. First let's catch up with the geeks. What are you geeking out about? 7 days a geek, 7 days a geek, oh, 7 days a geek, 7 days a geek, oh, 7 days a geek.
Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome to the 5th hour of
Greetings and salutations.
Podtoberfest. I am one of your hosts, the Angry Ginger, sitting inside of Monkey Poo Studios, the newly adorned, decorated, ready for video Monkey Poo Studios. Quadfather, thank you for putting... You know what? You did put a fire under my ass at least to finally do something with my studio. So I thank you. Also...
I just pushed you off the ledge and ran like the wind.
That's...
Go,
I don't
Jason,
think
go.
there's a
Bye.
better analogy that could be said.
That's funny.
We'll get to that. Cole, you're on the mic over there. Hello, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm on the mic number 2, Mike.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Jason.
Hey, Cole. I'm helping you out. You didn't give me my proper introduction, so I'll give it to me.
When a man is first crippled, there's always one question on everyone's mind. Does his dick work?
And does it?
Does it? Does it work?
It works.
Hold on, everyone be
like
quiet. Can we hear the
a
percolation?
Mexican laborer.
Someone decided to make coffee right when we go live. That's
okay.
brilliant.
Permission was granted because I need some caffeine.
Yeah, heck yeah. Just because you're anti-caffeine, Grant, that's the sweet sound of...
You can do
Wow.
whatever
Yeah,
you want.
I need some of that fucking nectar of the gods, so it's coming my way. Okay, so this hour
More
we are
cured.
doing the weekly watch party. It's a listeners' weekly watch party. So we had the listeners kind of nominate some movies. We have 5 movies, kind of in the realm of our theme here is dystopian, utopian. We're in Utopia, right? We're broadcasting live from Pandora Falls inside of Utopia, and we makeshift studio. We've got a listening audience from the village of wherever, and Grant's here texting some more. And Grant, say hi. Say hi to everybody.
He's booking guests.
Hey, everybody.
Everybody.
I'm trying to send out
Rock
the
your
live video, so
body.
please do not
Everybody.
be bothered by my uncontrolled
Back
self.
streets.
Yeah, go
back
ahead.
home
Go ahead,
line.
sing for a little bit.
Grant, you have the movies that we hope that you have watched before listening to
Give 'em
this include Grant,
These final hours. Cabin
Australian film. Yeah?
Cabin in the Woods.
If it's not, I'm
Yes,
confused.
the answer is yes.
a
It's a
modern-
2013 Australian science fiction film told literally in the final hours of the end of the world.
They know it's coming. The comets have hit.
Yeah, I missed the science.
There's a
on
little
that part.
tease there. I'm going to be like a really prima donna princess.
And then
Oh, nice cube or two.
Yep.
I like to drink my coffee.
Hang on, Courtney.
Yeah,
I like to
my
shove it down my
technicals.
throat. What
oh.
other movies do we got
Number
going on
2.
here? We have Cargo, which was recommended by
I thought
Jeannie.
you said No, he said Cabin in the Woods, but which we didn't get to talk about.
No, talk about it. I'm sorry. Joss Whedon and
No,
Drew
just
Goddard. Correct?
Cabin in the Woods.
Hey,
Is
Diamond Dave wants to know which. Do you want him to come on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like how Dan could not
Height.
be more enthused right now.
Everybody's talking, so I'm just waiting
Looked
my
like
turn.
Mr. Bean in Rat Race just fell asleep at the bus stop.
Oh, I've done that before.
Whatever we do, we need to make sure we get to Anna in the Apocalypse because my daughter will freak out if we don't discuss it. So that is one of the shows, Anna in the Apocalypse, probably the first and only, currently as far as I know, zombie musical.
I think you're right. What are you doing number 3 for, Quad?
Christmas rom-com,
I'm
too.
counting. That's
We've
3.
three.
Christmas rom-com. Very well said,
And then we
Dan.
got
The Thing.
The Thing.
Well, not The Thing. It's the second thing, actually. It's Kurt Russell, The Thing.
Don't be
other
pedantic.
thing.
It's John Carpenter's The
The
Thing.
next thing.
And then the last one is Cargo, correct?
So it's Cargo, and the
Cabin in the
Apocalypse.
Woods.
Thank you so
Cabin in
much.
the Woods.
Apocalypse
I appreciate you and
These
everything
final
you stand
hours.
for.
and The Thing.
Excellent.
Thing.
Excellent.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get into it. We're going to go from the
We're
top of the
reviewing
list. The 5 movies, you can find them if you've not watched them. I believe Grant alluded this the last hours. Anna the Apocalypse is on Hulu right now. Dan, that was your pick. Thank you for showing up. The Thing, Amazon Prime, Vudu, Apple. You do have to pay for that. Dave picked that. Maybe he'll sign in. Cabin in the Woods is on Hulu right now. Cargo is on Netflix by Jeannie. I think she'll be in studio soon. In these final hours, Netflix and Grant, you're in studio right now. So top of the list, Anna the Apocalypse. Now, I will say I've known about this for a little bit, but I turned it on the other night to watch it, and my daughter, every time I'm watching a movie in the living room, she'll come out. I'm like, what are you doing? So she sees a movie on, and she sits down, and not within 5 minutes, all of a sudden she starts singing, and my daughter's head slowly looks at me like I'm fucking insane. She's like, what are you watching? You know, and she's, it just turns into this song and shit, and I was like, it's a musical.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a musical.
Yeah,
Yes.
strangely enough.
It reminded me...
It is a zombie Christmas rom-com musical. End of the world
It
musical.
was like if Glee put on a Christmas episode with zombies.
I would say
That's a good
the
way to do
music and the performances far outweigh anything that Glee ever did.
Would you?
I would. Absolutely. That soundtrack alone, before we get into the meat and potatoes of the actual film and the story it's telling that Courtney clearly missed and didn't pay attention, probably because he was doing other things and not watching it. The soundtrack itself is so well constructed. The songs fit each moment in the film. You know what's funny is for an independent film that had a lower budget than blockbusters, I would put that soundtrack right in there with like The Greatest Showman. Would you agree, Dan, or no?
Oh, I don't think the songs were that fucking great, and I've never even seen The Greatest Showman.
I would say closer to probably Rocky Horror.
Yeah? I don't
right.
mean on like orchestral scale or composition of music. I mean replayability, singability.
Hold on a second.
Right?
Got to fix the video. Dan, I need you to scooch over to the right side.
Like
We
that.
can see the thing behind you. We can see the lock.
That's not a lock.
Because I need to frame quad. Sorry. Okay, now Dan, go ahead and talk so I can see you again. Sorry, listening audience, but I don't know how to fix.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Where are
How
you
about
at?
that? But Anna the Apocalypse, the music's good, but it is remarkable. But I think The Greatest Showman had a better soundtrack, in my opinion.
No, okay, but what's your metrics then for measuring that? Because I disagree with you, but this is of course going to be it's this personal opinion perspective. Yeah, it's subjective,
Yeah.
right? So
Right, and to me, it's closer to a Rocky Horror Picture Show. In all honesty,
Hello.
so
Got some
Welcome to the
listeners in
Geek
studio.
Den.
Yeah.
Come on and sit down.
Who just
We got
came in? Who just
Stuntfish
came in?
and
We got on video.
Stuntfish's other person. Wife.
Welcome. Saddle up to the mic.
Oh, no, that's fine. Welcome. If you've never heard the show, you're in for a treat.
does he want to sit down in the chair, or we can get him on fourth
get
mic?
on here if you want, man. Hop in.
You can tell him what
Got a
we're
little
talking about, and just
water's
throw
fine,
him
buddy.
right into the mix.
What do we got here?
Stuntfish, right now we are discussing Anna
Put
and
on
the
the
Apocalypse. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's
I
a
did not see that one.
zombie musical. We're going to talk about These Final Hours on Netflix, Cargo, Cabin in the Woods, and John Carpenter's The Thing.
The thing.
This is the right side
So
of
that's
the table.
kind of where
just so you know.
we're.
Yeah.
This would be the left side of the table.
What am I looking at
Courtney
here?
and Dad need to switch
Wow,
spots.
very nice. Wow, are you kidding me? It's a cat in a Star Wars.
I know that.
Okay.
I know that. But
All right, fair enough.
if there was more meaning
Explain
behind
it.
it, then thank you for being descriptive.
Well, I was like,
I
what are you
appreciate
asking
that.
the question for?
Hold
That's
it to the
brilliant.
camera in front of
I
you.
guess the meaning behind it was you like cats, obviously, and you like Star Wars. And every time I'd ever looked down here, there was nothing on the walls except for recently.
Yeah, the place blew up last night.
Last night, like
is-
at 11
Point at
o'clock.
the camera.
This
Oh,
is
yeah,
funny.
sure.
It's funny.
That's
This is,
awesome.
yeah,
It's
this
got
is-
In front of
got
you,
a rebel
the
helmet on.
audience.
Yeah.
was that one of the cats from under the bed?
That's
No,
That's
in front of you. There's one.
Pink
that's
Puss
two-shot.
standing by.
Two-shot.
All right, let's get back
Porkins,
into Anna and the Apocalypse. Let's
Thanks
wrap
for
that.
reining us in,
We
Grant.
got
Thank
5
you.
more to
Thank you,
go.
Stuntfish. That's-
So
much for YouTube.
just let's wrap up with the soundtrack, right? And the songs, and obviously we listen to this soundtrack frequently in the vehicle, in the house. My daughter is playing it on the Google Home.
Do you sing it in the shower?
We do. Yes, the answer is yes.
Wait, we?
No, I mean, eat.
Family affair.
Great,
Save water.
great.
Come on,
there
family.
it went. Oh, Bart.
Whose turn to wash Dad's back?
Grant grew
Yes.
up, like the only time he ever showers at the
You know,
YMCA, so like the family's got to do it together.
My daughter, she'll go in the bathroom and she'll take her showers, and from the living room, we'll hear her singing. Now, she listens to other things too, but you can still hear her singing that, or just out of the blue. Like, we're not discussing Anna and the Apocalypse. We're not doing anything, but we'll just be sitting there, and one of us all of a sudden will start singing the songs from the soundtrack, and that's not different than how we generally tend to do with The Greatest Showman. So that's, I guess, how I equate why I think they're both very similar in how good they are, right? If we're just sitting there and all of a sudden it pops into our head and we start singing it, I know, Dan, that you're a fan of Hamilton and you're probably singing that all the time. We're not
Quad.
we're not jumping into that soundtrack and just singing it randomly, right? We have all these other ones. So like Quad said, subjective. But for me,
Right. And I mean,
go ahead.
I watched this with my son probably back right around Labor Day, and because I had watched it for the first time, and he's really got into the whole zombie genre, and and my kids are theater kids, so they love musicals, and I was like, let's watch this. My daughter had no interest because she does not like horror, she does not like gore, and so I said, all right, let's watch it. And since then, I think we've watched it 3 or 4 times. So, and he listens to the soundtrack on Spotify all the time. It's part of his Spotify playlist.
And the thing about it is you can listen to that soundtrack without watching the film, except all of a sudden, because of the way the songs are structured and the story they're telling, you know every single scene in that movie and what's occurring. True or false?
I don't know, because I haven't gone back and listened to the soundtrack without watching
for me,
the movie.
Really?
The songs
interesting.
didn't. I'm with Quad. The songs didn't blow me away. It was particularly weird. It was so different for a movie that I couldn't take my eyes away from it. That's what I liked about it.
Right,
so I've
it's
been
like
watching
cheerful and singing, and then people are being murdered in the background.
Yeah, I'm watching it at work, and like guards would come filtering in, like, Brevis, what the fuck are you watching? I'm like, dude, this is like.
So you liked it because
it was deliciously awkward.
I was
liked
attracted to this
that,
because
yeah.
I was like, oh, we're gonna get I hate you.
No,
making me watch this.
I'm not a big fan of musicals outside of like some Disney movies that I'll watch with my kids, or Grease, I guess would be one of the ones that I like. But I don't dine on musicals. It's not my MO. I don't really care for them. I tried to watch some Hamilton. I couldn't get into it. But this, I could watch this. I'll watch this again. It was fun, and I bet you if I watched it again 2 or 3 more times, I bet you I would appreciate the music a lot more. I bet you I'd be singing along with the songs if they got into my head, maybe earworms. But I wasn't particularly blown away by the musical production.
Man, that's such a
It
bummer.
it seemed low budget to me.
A little bit, yeah.
Which gave
a little
it,
bit.
which
Well,
made
it
it
was.
fun.
It was, but like in reference, I mean, Courtney, we had spoken about this earlier, and you said the music, to you, a musical, the music has to progress the story.
Yeah.
And I feel that some of the songs, I agree with you, do not. But I think they're put in there for, like, there's the scene where she's doing the Christmas concert, and she does the girl does the really suggestive song about Santa Claus.
I loved that one.
That
good.
doesn't. It was funny, but does it really
stuff.
progress the song or progress the movie? No, but it's a fun song. It's funny. It's funny to see the reaction of the people.
Yeah.
But but the other ones, yeah. I mean, I definitely feel like, especially the exposition of the main villain singing through. I mean, he's that definitely helps show you his side of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Grant and I were getting into it
Real
a
quick,
little earlier.
the villain is played by Paul Kaye. If you're not familiar with his work,
Hold on.
one of the things
You didn't recognize him?
The headmaster, the
Yeah.
principal.
yeah. Paul Kaye,
He's the therapist.
He's on Afterlife
Never seen
I thought you watched
with Ricky
that.
Gervais.
Oh, I thought we covered that.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Paul Kaye plays the villain. That's who Dan was referencing.
Sorry to disappoint you guys.
Danny frickin' K was at Christmas Vacation when he's giving in the big speech about kiss my ass, kiss your ass, kiss his ass, happy Hanukkah.
Yep.
Okay, so
Hallelujah.
are we vote? Let's vote Anna on the Apocalypse.
Wait, hang on, real quick. Courtney was going to start something. I kind of steered it
Sorry.
back to name the villain,
shit,
and then I have
cut
one
over
more
there.
thing after Courtney's done regarding it.
Yeah, and I realize we're 20 minutes into the hour, and we need
Sure.
to keep moving. But so I'll make it quick. My take. I sat down and watched with my boys. I love musicals. I agree. The music was fun. I just missed the story. Right? I mean, I got that she needs to get back to the place where her dad is. Why? Because everyone's dying there too.
That's
I
not
didn't get
the
it.
part of the story,
The job
though.
is to move from one building
That's
to another.
one little tiny detail of the actual story
Well,
they're
what's the rest
telling.
of the story?
There's
What's
a
the
multitude of
story?
parts. Predominantly, it's the idea of
done.
Anna growing up and moving on and becoming an adult in the
Sounds like
world,
Spirited
right?
Away.
And it's told through this backdrop of the apocalypse. Agree or disagree, Dan? This is the conversation that her dad are having in the
He's not
beginning of the
just giving you an
film.
agree.
I'm playing
Sure.
devil's advocate here, and I see both sides of your story.
Advocate.
I mean, I agree that it isn't as relevant the first time you see it. It isn't right out there the first time you see it. The second time you see it, it does hit home a lot more.
So I'm going to...
I will watch it again.
We can move on from this. I'm going to just read real quick what my daughter has written in text because she's listening on their way to the apple orchard today. So for Court...
Did she hear your anus song?
I
Your
think
anus
she
poem?
did, and that we'll have that discussion and life moment
You're going
teaching
to the-
later.
Are
Going
you
to
guys going-
family
Let's not
therapy
go there.
after the
Are
family shower.
Hang on, are you going to Robinette's for apples?
I'm not sure where they're going, so that's funny.
You haven't boycotted that place?
So, God damn it, Cole. All right, so my daughter writes, one of the components is that life isn't the way that Hollywood presents it, and as
Yeah, they say that. There's
correct.
A song, right?
She
No
writes
Hollywood ending, which would made me
she
frustrated.
writes-
I was mad.
she
at the
writes
end.
that Anna is growing and finding herself. She says exactly what you said. I mean, for God's sakes, Hollywood show is actually a song, Courtney. It's telling you the theme. You said like the songs aren't driving the story, but in fact they were. She then talks about technology a little bit, which again is another song. I'm scrolling here. She says, "Look, it's not a rom-com." I think she's probably speaking to what Dan said, because if you look at it, Dan, something happens in the film in the third act that no one is expecting. It comes out of the blue like a sharp left turn, and all of a sudden, if you're following the story between the two main characters, you're like, holy shit, what balls they had to do that
Kill
right
off the
at
boy
the
that
end.
was in love with her.
Oh
the
my
end.
God, that was brilliant. Thanks for spoiling that for everyone,
and
you
We're doing a
asshole.
weekly watch
I
party.
literally walked
We
right
doing a
around
weekly
it.
watch party.
I
That's
walked
what we do.
right
They were
around
supposed
it.
to watch it. You don't know the segment.
Grant, can I change your vernacular from you've said it a few
Yep.
times today, a sharp
Sure.
left turn? Can you change it to sharp right turn just for me?
I will do that.
Thanks.
NASCAR. Let's see here. Yep. Basically, how it. I know that. That was my joke back at you, because NASCAR. Okay.
I know that, but you didn't need to
Gotcha,
comment
all
on it.
How it fits
Last
everything
word,
happening
man.
with social media and technology. How people are so involved in technology.
I like
person
that.
to person talking is now rare, etc.
I'm not saying it didn't have something to say. It did have things to say, and I appreciated that because it brought kind of this modern, thing that we're going through
Sure.
in life into the. But where's the story? Story.
I don't. Okay. I don't.
All right,
You know what I mean?
all right, let's
I had
let's
intended.
progress because we-
I
like you
had
said, we're running out of time.
tried to reach out to John and get him on the show for this hour.
Who's John?
He's probably busy. John McPhail.
Who's
He is,
Anthony?
He is the director of
Yeah,
Anna and the
John.
Apocalypse, and I definitely have been blessed enough to have some conversations and back and forth with him.
Let's do Cargo next, because
But I
I didn't
couldn't do
watch
it.
any of the other ones.
I want to do Well, we're gonna skip the thing because Dave didn't show up. So
Beef Cargo.
we
I didn't watch it.
okay.
It wasn't
Yeah,
funny.
that doesn't surprise me. Let's
Literally the best on the list, though. I will tell you that right now.
The Thing is?
Carpenter's.
Oh yeah, I
It
love
is.
the thing.
It is still to this day one of the
Tom Hanks,
scariest
That Thing You Do, that's a
films
good movie.
Right.
and most brilliantly done special effects without the use of
Remake.
CGI.
Yeah.
It's not on the list anymore, though. So
Fair
what's the
enough.
best
I
movie
do. I
on the
want to
list?
geek out about Cargo because, like,
Me
this
too.
movie, like Jeannie, she's not here. She recommended it, and the idea was to have them sit in and kind of defend their film if we didn't like it. But I'm going to venture to guess that all of us did like it. This movie was a very low budget, quiet little film. Had a bunch of things happen in it you didn't expect.
Australia.
I was fucking like, I was the whole time I'm into this movie. Martin Freeman.
Did you know that it was based on a
No, I
movie
did
short?
not.
Somebody actually did an original short of the movie, and that's where it came from. It progressed from there.
Okay,
They
okay.
expanded the whole story.
Coincidentally, so was Anna and the Apocalypse.
Oh wow. So
Coincidentally,
Sure. Yes.
Shit, I got you guys.
Coincidentally.
My apologies to the framing of Dan and Quad. I can't figure this out to save my fucking life.
But you know what? The background behind Dan is beautiful.
It's the automatic
living that like
right, but there's you guys' cameras are supposed to be separate, and I can't figure out how to make.
So
them
Cargo was amazing in the fact that it was just a different take. It seemed like a different take on a zombie movie. Like, I'm not a big fan of horror. I'm not a big fan of zombie. I like The Walking Dead. I like that type of a zombie flick. But I'm like, jump scares doesn't do it for me. Horror genre in general doesn't do it for me. But this was really real. Like, really, like, it focused on the story so much versus the blood and the guts.
It was character driven.
Character driven. Yeah. Thank you. Very well put.
Right.
The great opening. I love the intriguing dialogue between him and his wife right off the jump when they're on the riverboat and they're going down the thing. And you know she's gonna when he takes that nap. You know she's going back.
Right.
Yeah.
He's trying to be like, he's mansplaining to her a little bit, like, you stay on the boat and I'm gonna take a nap and I'm gonna protect you and my kid. And she's like, go fuck yourself. I'm gonna go check out this boat. And she gets bit, and there you go. That's what happens. I like how everyone has the same watch. Like, there's a universal watch for the countdown. The quarantine cases or whatever. They got a little thing to kill yourself with, and then they got a little watch in there. And everyone's like, they wear it, and they got 48 hours. I'm assuming that at some point, some people got bit and didn't get infected because they're like, you hit the 24-hour mark, and then like you don't turn, or do you turn? But, man, how gross. How bad did you want to wipe those zombies' faces off? Because they had that mucus coming out? Hey, you got something on your face. Like, I just want to wipe it off every single time.
I like the idea with the sickness and the yellow fucking pus. Almost looked like honey. And then they would see it, like, on the back of the seat or whatever, and they're like, oh, shit. Like, you knew they were turning. Or the fact that, like, you only had 48 hours and that fucking needle would pop out. I thought it was, like, supposed to be, like, to... Instead, it was fucking stab our brain. Let's end everything.
I always like the character development of the main character in these movies because they always start out as such a freaking pansy, like can't handle themselves. Look, like when he was trying to shoot that gun,
you
just like the recoil was like knocking him back 3 steps, and then at the end of the movie, dude turns into a badass.
So you would be the badass from minute 1 in a zombie apocalypse.
I'm telling you right now, zombie apocalypse hits. I'm turning like.
You're ready. You're ready to go. Yeah. Because the reality of zombies existing wouldn't be a shock to the system.
Cole's going to be vegan. That's
Grant, you don't be coming to my house with my guns, okay? You stay away. You're gonna be one of the people that I'm gonna be using as a meat shield.
Well, at the rate I'm losing weight, it's gonna be a small shield.
Yeah. Well, it's fine. I'll figure something out.
How do I
interesting though. I enjoyed the film, but I felt it was. I don't want to say slow. It definitely took a while for it to get going.
You had it.
Yeah.
Is that Martin Freeman though as a lead? I'll take him in anything.
What is he from? He looked familiar. I didn't look him up.
Well, so he has been in the Lord of the Rings. Actually, the Hobbit trilogy, I should say.
The Hobbit,
Fargo. The first season of Fargo.
Which Hobbit?
Yeah, he was in Black
He
Panther. He was the Hobbit in the Hobbit, the second trilogy. He was Bilbo.
Yeah.
He was Bilbo back.
So he wasn't in the Lord of the Rings.
But to your point of his character arc, where first of all, I love the everyman who becomes the hero, right? The guy who is least expected to pull himself up by the bootstraps and do what he needs to do. Like watching that character arc for me, I love that in any movie. Male characters, female characters, doesn't matter. If they're the underdog, if they're the least expected to survive, and their character's written well, and you can see that growth, and there's justification based on the events of the film, then that to me that's the greatest story ever. Like I absolutely love that. To that point, Martin Freeman also plays a character very similar to that in the first season of Fargo, which if you haven't seen is outstanding with Billy Bob Thornton. Yeah. Yep. So same character arc in a way. I mean, he'd be bad guy, but.
Yeah, they did some unique things with it. You know that were doing a lot of like the meat on the stick and
you do.
The ostrich move, I like that, where they bury their heads in the sand and they can't move.
Yeah, that's a weird thing.
Yeah, they don't really have.
It was the last part of their transition.
Right, because they kept having that like daydream of it.
Yeah.
Where like
And that once they did that, when they popped up, they were.
And then you kind of saw that they hid in the dark because like when the tunnel they would come out. But well, no, I guess they didn't because when they were in the car the one time when they ran into the one, they run in the daylight. So what's the putting the head in the fucking ground for?
I think the weight of the sand kept them. They weren't able to either be A, smart enough to dig themselves out, or B, it just was a way to trap them, so they couldn't bite anyone.
Well, they talk about sleeping.
That's when he puts his head down and he starts
Right.
digging. It's part of the transition. They mention it somewhere. The girl mentions it somewhere.
So,
Okay.
Cargo, Courtney, your, whatever your scale is, what do you give it?
On seven. I give it
4.5. Dan?
I thought it was pretty slow, but it was an interesting tale.
Well told.
Cargo at 7. I'll definitely give it a 5. It kept me. I wanted to see how it turned out. It was. You knew what was coming. There was an end bite to it. And like I said, having the original short film, I wanted to see
how it played out as a
shakes things up.
Yeah.
And you didn't see it, Stunfish, right?
No.
No.
I feel like Courtney. I haven't done my homework.
Get him!
You could have watched it on 2 times speed. Courtney did.
Clearly knows Courtney. Cole, where are you at on your score?
Right between those two, 4.75, I guess. Yeah, right in there.
4.75.
How weird.
4.75.
4,
We do
4.5.
quarters. We do quarters.
Oh my
we do
God.
quarters.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
We do quarter scores.
Ridiculous. What
Why is that ridiculous, Grant?
Because I say it is. That's
Okay.
no other reason. And where are you at on you?
I'll go 4.75 or 5. Yeah, I'm like right in that area. You know what I liked about this movie was I knew nothing about it. It was just recommended from a listener, so I just played it. So I was I was along for the ride the whole time. It was like being handed a book or something, or just be like, hey, this will be good. And you know what the fuck you're in for. And the whole time I'm like, ooh, and I like the little bit of changes because we've seen the zombie shit a million times. But I like the idea it was in like the Australia outback or whatever. Different scenery. They played with the elements. We've seen the transformation before, but and the idea that this family on the run and mom is sick and then fucking dies right away and then he's bit, so he's got 48 hours to find care for his daughter before he turns. So it was an interesting twist on everything. I really like that. So yeah, I'm
Grant, your
I'll be at a
thoughts?
5.
I'm sitting somewhere between a 3 and a 4.
What if it had songs?
That's funny. That's pretty funny. It depends on how well they were written, and did they engage me enough to follow the story? But no, for this particular film,
My wife bit me.
Martin Freeman, without
Again.
a doubt, is engaging enough, and the character was well written enough to follow along and want to be watching.
What's the? Oh, we're picking up someone's volume.
Yep. Some. Dan, is that you? Are you playing YouTube there?
Sorry. I'm checking out the live feed. I wanted to see me and I couldn't hear.
Yeah, I just saw it too.
So it was me or
We hear no echo. So live feed, is it still there? I'm sorry.
I just asked, and nothing.
Okay, no response yet. Grant, was it Breeders? What's the name of the show Martin Freeman's on FX, where he's got the kids?
Yeah,
that's
Breeders.
funny.
I'm not even going to lie. I've watched the opening 3 minutes to that first episode dozens upon my kids who are young and shouldn't hear the language that opens that. I have showed them that scene simply for them to understand that
what it's like to be a parent.
That those moments where I've behaved wholly inappropriate just like that and lost my temper, that it's so real and so prevalent with the struggles of being a parent and the stress that somebody wrote it into a show and put it on television. This really happens. I'm not the only one, and the response is the same. You do it, and then you're like, I'm sorry. I'm totally that whole scene. If you have not seen the opening moments to the first episode of Breeders on FX on Hulu, you have to watch it, because if you're a parent and you're a fallible human being, you've done this. You've done it.
Yeah, overreacted to your kids needing your attention for a minute. Yeah.
It's the whole idea that
Right.
5 minutes before he goes upstairs, he's talking himself out of swearing, yelling, losing his temper as he's going up the stairs, and he's telling himself how shitty he's gonna feel by doing it. He opens the door, and that entire conversation between the bottom of the stairs and the top of the stairs that he had with himself, right out the window. He does exactly what he intended not to do, and he goes into a filthy, loud tirade. And these kids are, wee high, and then you
raise your hands if you've been there before. There we go.
And you can see it on his face.
You've never yelled at children?
Not mine.
He's Get off my
Oh, that's great. So
How's it feel up there on your throne, Stuntfish?
Right.
Good.
Not bad. I feel a little taller than everyone right now. So.
Yeah. And he had to push Dan.
What's
the echo? I think is just the way the Skype is set up, listening audience, because they said it's only when Quad and Dan talk. So it's best if you guys just hold up signs.
Wow. That's,
Okay. That's good to know.
all right. What's next?
I
film
want to
on the
talk.
list?
I want to talk These Final Hours because I watched this a few years ago and I started watching this again. I got about halfway through it, but it was damn near 1:30 in the morning when I went to bed because I wasn't up trying to handle other things because I was trying to figure out this whole fucking doohickey that apparently I failed at. But These Final Hours is Quad. You said you didn't like it. Like I feel like sometimes the slow burn of a movie.
First of all, it's not
it is. I see why.
I disagree. That's a slow burn.
Slow.
It
is
because it's you're just following this guy around. You don't know what the hell's going on at first, and he's screwing around, but then he's got a girlfriend, and then he finds out one of them's pregnant. He's gonna get to this party, and then this little girl's kidnapped, and he finds a hammer in a van. He's just gonna abandon. He's like, you know what? The world's ending anyways, and then he goes in there and just pummels this dude with a fucking hammer.
So
it's aggressive. It's so good.
Let me read just the first paragraph on the Wikipedia that delves into the plot, which is kind of what you did, but then I can drive from there.
Okay.
The film takes place in Perth and begins 10 minutes after an asteroid has collided with Earth in the North Atlantic, leaving approximately 12 hours until the subsequent global firestorm
tidal wave
reaches Western Australia. James and his lover Zoe are having sex for the last time at her beach house, where she reveals at that point that she is pregnant with James's child. Wishing to block out all of his feelings and avoid what's coming, James berates Zoe for sharing her news and leaves for the party to end all parties. And so we start out where James is a complete and utter asshole in this moment, right? It's the end of the world, and here he's going to leave his girlfriend because
I got the idea
that's the end of the world. Though.
I got the idea she was going to commit suicide or something. Like the idea, she was right. All these people kept no,
absolutely not. And so he leaves to go to this party that he knows is being thrown. And on his way there, of course, the world is falling apart like every apocalyptic movie where the idea is to show how terrible human beings are, not how good they are, right? The real monsters in any apocalypse film or zombie movie is the human beings.
Sure.
That's like the 9 seasons of The Walking Dead is they're the bad guys. So on...
I don't know. The bad guys. Zombies are pretty bad.
Sure, but it's really the humans that they focus on and how terrible and violent they are. So on his way, James runs into a group of these people, and they're about to accost a young child, and that's why he saves her, goes into the house, kills the perpetrators with a hammer, and then proceeds to go to the party
with her,
with the young girl.
Orgies happening, drugs everywhere.
I should have watched this movie.
Right, I sold you on orgies, didn't I?
Yeah. No, this sounds really good.
But what occurs and the story that it's telling, right, is he all of a sudden he realizes he's got this father figure moment, this protective thing. This
right. He'd have been a good father had the world not come to an end.
Well, I think to an extent, I don't know if they were that hard on that storyline, but it was working in that direction, right?
A joke, yeah.
But when he gets to the party, these things develop, and then he starts to work his way back to the girlfriend, which is ultimately where he ends up right before the movie ends and the end of the world occurs. One of the
spoiler
fair enough.
Alert.
One of the tidbits that if we can loop this into previous conversations is this was the first time I had ever seen Sarah Snook, who is an Australian actress. She plays one of the daughters on Succession, and she is also
she's in my own grandpa movie.
I was about to mention that without mentioning that. God damn it, Jay. Yeah, so...
I'm here to ruin your day, Grant.
What?
So the film is called Predestination, starring Ethan Hawke. It is one of the greatest films that really focus on the bootstrap theory in science fiction. It's just a really heady, thought-provoking science fiction.
Both of you guys are like, bootstrap theory.
What is the bootstrap theory?
Bootstrap is when you fund your activities and make a corporation or business.
My dad used to beat me with.
Oh my
God!
God!
Just the bootstrap? I feel like he held the bootstrap.
I like that one.
You got the whole boot.
What's so funny, Quad? You think that's good?
I can visualize your ass.
How about the Christmas tree, Father?
Dad, not the extension cord again, please.
But the film was made on a $2.5 million budget, so it is a low budget sci-fi film, but it's still character-driven with really good performances.
Right.
It fits into that same stream. I don't want to say that it was Grindhouse, but I felt like there were moments, like especially during the party scenes, where it almost was like Grindhouse.
I like the cover on this.
Yeah,
I really
do you agree with that, Courtney?
I wish I would have watched this.
It's good.
Yeah. It was just bad. I mean, it was like everything. You know, this kind of either we're going to rape children, or we're going to party
hedonistic.
1999.
Right? Is that what you? Yeah, hedonistic. But the girl performance, Sarah Snook's performance, the lead actor's performance were all great.
All right, let's go around the table. World's ending. You got 2 days. What do you do, Cole?
83% on Rotten Tomatoes, by the way, for viewer reviews.
Oh, it has an outstanding fan base of a kind of a cult following. Yeah.
Would you watch this movie?
Last 2 days. What
left?
do I do?
Yeah. What do you do?
Just fucking.
Do you live the whole time, or do you murder yourself and your kids?
I don't know.
Wow.
No.
No. There's that moment. And you know
Jesus,
what?
Jay, that went dark.
Because it happened in Cargo and it happened in this, where they stumble upon a family and the father has a gun and he's going to kill his wife and
How's
kids.
the world ending?
Sure.
That's a problem.
In Cargo, it's ending with the virus, and this it's ending like
world
a comet
ending,
hit the world.
virus, zombies. I'm fucking going. You're gonna have to take me. I'll be the last man
Okay,
standing.
so you're asking how is the world ending?
Yeah, if it's gonna be a
based on
nuclear holocaust, where we're all just gonna. I'm just gonna go on a hedonistic binge and do whatever I want.
And where do you think they stole that idea from? That kind of that plot
it's
point.
Been
that
like an everything Mist.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's why I was driving you. I wanted to see if
Everyone
you get there.
wants to see put themselves up
Did
against.
Dan leave?
No, Dan's right there.
I don't know. I don't know. He looks. All of a sudden, he went tiny.
I'm still here. I'm still here.
Shrinkage. He went tiny.
All right, so
he's cold.
Answer.
It's the water behind him.
What am I doing for the 2 days?
Yeah.
It just depends. Like if it's gonna be like a zombie apocalypse, I'm gonna go do my thing.
You're just gonna go kill zombies?
I'll hold my own.
Oh, so the world might not end. You're saying I'll hold my own, see if it goes away.
I'm gonna try to survive in that scenario.
Okay.
If it's gonna be like a nuclear bomb, we're all
At
gonna
home?
be wiped out. I'm gonna just go and do whatever the fuck I want. Have fun, enjoy myself, try all the drugs in the world.
Just snort cocaine?
Snort coke and go to Vegas.
Oh. Take you 2 days to get there.
Yeah. Strangle strippers. Fly my own airplane there. I'll do whatever I want. I'll hijack an airplane.
There you go. Land right on the strip.
Grant will go
Con Air?
fucking try to fight Donald Trump.
God.
Boxing. It's my mission. I'm fighting him.
1600 Pennsylvania. I'm coming for you.
Here I am, Donald. I've been waiting for you.
Put him up.
That's a bunch of malarkey.
Would you fight him in your kilt?
Come on. Let's
Would
move
you
on.
shave your
What's
head?
what's
No,
the
we're not
next
moving
movie?
on. We're asking the question.
Oh.
Stumpfish?
Stand by and stand down, Grant.
Grab my wife and just go do whatever we could think of doing. Anything.
Yeah?
Pretty much the same thing as Bivens. Just go. You
Okay,
only
what
got
if your wife
48
wasn't
hours.
here? Now answer it.
I'm more curious. What is your answer? Like what?
She's like, grab anyone but my husband.
All the psychedelics.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
With my husband.
You guys are going to have a good time.
Sure, fair enough. You know.
We need orange juice.
Oh my God. Anybody got some sugar cubes?
Taking a trip.
Sure. Yeah. That's a good idea. All right. So next movie. So everybody,
I guess we're not going around the table.
Apparently, we're not going
Oh my God. I'm looking at the time. I'm trying to move us along.
okay.
Give me a break. All right, Courtney. Where's your scale on these fine years?
I faced when I was facing my surgery because people were like I was going to. And what I did, the short version. I didn't go to work. I just hung out with my family. That's what I did. So in my hour could have been.
I just hung out with them. That's not exciting, but it's what I kind of feel like I did when I was faced with it. So there you go. Moving on.
Can I hear it again? Do you have time?
Truth be told.
No clue. Not. I mean,
You gotta answer. It's
48
hours.
I have 48 hours. I'm going to do what I always
with me,
do.
Grant.
I'm going to spend it with my wife and kids and just enjoy those moments.
Would you call me?
Here's what I'm
Would
going to
you call me?
Here's what I'm not going to do.
Would you call me?
I'm not going to live like I do right now, where it's panic, anxiety, stress, depression.
Oh no! The last 48 hours is when you turned it off.
I fixed myself. I'm healed. Last 48 hours on Earth.
Last 48 hours, I'm like, on hiatus.
I don't know that to be the case, but I'm hoping that's what happens. I hope
in my life.
I finally get the news that no matter what I do, it's ending, so I can finally relax.
Courtney just gave you your prescription. I just live every day like it's your last 48 hours on
Chicken
Earth.
Little over here. He's finally like, I was right.
Oh, that's good.
And Jason.
You know what? That's a good question.
Start a podcast.
Start a podcast about the end of the world.
Number 9.
Welcome to
48,
Podtoberfest.
46.
Podtoberfest end of days.
All right, folks, we're going end of the world countdown. We're going live. So tune in.
I'll tell you what, if it was this year, I'd have fucking been to Tennessee and I'd have murdered. Last night, I had this whole fucking plan. I was like, I got enough time to go to Tennessee, and when you guys hit the live button, I'm going to knock on Courtney's hotel room door. When he opens, I'm going to murder him live on fucking camera.
Making of a murderer.
By the way, the video is fantastic.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It has to happen on some of these hours.
What's that? Oh, the video looks good? You know what? You want to run this fucking showboat?
No, Courtney was supposed to do that, but he apparently,
All right. Don't deflect. Okay, so we got 2 more movies.
Courtney.
We got one more movie, Cabin in the Woods. Did anybody watch Cabin in the Woods?
Who has not watched Cabin in the Woods?
I watched it in the theater.
Yeah.
Oh, let's brag about it.
The only good movie on this list,
Really?
in my opinion. I mean, I'm sure watching it.
But to be fair, you said you did not watch John Carpenter's The Thing, correct?
No,
we're free.
Fair enough. Okay.
Let me introduce you to the cheapest motherfucker you'll ever meet.
Well, I think it might be on Hulu or something that I couldn't download and watch it on the PC.
You know what? And he almost, Quad is really good at, like, when Lifehouse came out. It's like, hey, Lifehouse is on, Lighthouse. Yeah, he's like, Lighthouse is on Amazon. So he watches the wrong fucking Lighthouse movie. And then what was the movie a couple weeks later? He started downloading, watching whatever. We're like, we should have just let him watch the whole. It was like a 9-episode series. What was that? It was the Ozark.
Yeah, we weren't going to bail him out.
Right.
We were going to let him just learn his lesson.
Real quick, I want to rewind because I had said the bootstrap theory, and you guys were like, well, what's that? It's actually known as the bootstrap paradox, so I got that wrong. And,
way off.
And this is what the bootstrap paradox is. The bootstrap paradox is a theoretical paradox of time travel that occurs when an object or a piece of information sent back in time becomes trapped within an infinite cause-effect loop in which the item no longer has a discernible point of origin, and it is said to be uncaused.
Yeah. Can I
or Infinity Stones.
And it is said to be uncaused or self-created.
Dan, wake up, Dan.
I think the last 48 hours is not.
I'm trying to just recap on a mistake I made and answer a question you asked.
Thank you for explaining
this. Brett, you have to have fun here.
I'm going to go put on my... You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let you guys wrap up. I'm going to go put on my romper for the next hour.
Oh, my God. I'm so excited.
Oh, boy.
I enjoyed Cabin in the Woods. It was totally different than other movies, and it had technological. I mean, why haven't we Cabin in the Woods 2? I want to see those other creatures get activated.
Oh, I know, because if you watch the end, the gods came alive and destroyed the planet. So how could there be a part 2?
Oh, you can
get it from a different angle, from one of the other rooms, from one of the other.
Prequel.
Were you thrown off when all of a sudden it turned into this like sci-fi thing? It went from horror to sci. You're like, what the fuck is going on?
I think I watched the trailer. So
I didn't know what to make of the movie. And I swear to God, maybe the problem with it was for me, you wouldn't let me watch the trailer. Because you're like, it's going to give something away. So
yeah,
I went
absolutely.
And saw this, and I'm watching this movie, and I didn't know what to make of it. Like I was, this movie should have been up my alley. But the fact that I was like so caught off guard, I was like, I was kind of irritated.
The worst thing about cinema today is the fact that they do not release trailers that don't give anything away. They give
right. I'll tell you that from a professional perspective of it.
Who's that guy that ran
that we are given direct notes that they want to address. They want to show more of the story instead of hiding.
There's a bad echo apparently.
And that drives me fucking nuts.
So what do you think about putting scenes that are in the movie in the trailer as kind of a red herring?
Yeah. That happens all the time, doesn't it?
That does happen. They actually pull out scenes of the movies.
Dan, how frequently in your job have you been required to do that, or is that an arbitrary decision that you make?
It stopped because
Oh no, I'm
cameras.
Echo. So that's what I'm asking. So when you're cutting trailers,
why is it blurry
for
like
the
that?
awesome companies you work for that I don't think we're allowed to mention, they give you a directive that says, "Hey, we're not going to use these scenes, but we want them in there anyway."
No, what happens is we get the scenes usually from the production itself, and then we put it in before they're still shooting. So we get selects from them, and then what happens is sometimes because of the change in the script or change they pull it out, or they have to cut it for timing.
So it's accidental, not intentional.
Right, it's accidental. But I'm a big fan of red herring myself, but that's just me.
Oh yeah, I'll stop trailer. Halfway through. All right,
yep.
Sold. I don't want to watch it.
And I've kind of given up on watching trailers.
I apologize if it deletes both of you. Keep going.
Short of just knowing who the director is, who wrote it, or whatever, general story, because they really are giving away some of the best bits.
So who watched Cabin in the Woods?
I did.
Okay.
Stunfish, have you ever seen it?
Yeah. I watched it a while ago, but it was pretty good. It was a little confusing. I didn't know what I was going into. I kind of figured it was going to be like a horror movie, kind of.
Sure.
And then it changed within that. So
it made a hard left turn.
Yeah. So you didn't expect it, and it kind of threw me off a little bit. But thank you, Cole.
You're welcome, buddy.
Right. Yeah, that was one of the fun things I thought about it. I actually just watched it again with my son because he's really got horror movies. And I like the comedy aspect of it and the unpredictability.
So funny.
And that's
here come the movies. Everyone's chanting, in the control room.
There's no boobies, of course, right? But it subverted that expectation to an extent. Who was the guy who was Shaggy? I forget what the actor is, but he plays.
Oh, yeah.
He plays that character in every movie. The Last Girls.
Matthew Lillard.
Who is it?
Matthew Lillard?
No,
he
not that
Shaggy.
Shaggy. I mean he's a Shaggy-esque like character, right?
Sorry.
I think he was on Dollhouse.
You have the buzzer. Yes.
He was on Dollhouse. He was in the Final Girl. Right?
Oh, was he? Okay.
He was. He was in The Final Girl.
Final Girls.
But his character in Cabin in the Woods was riotously funny, especially when they were trying to present the subliminal moments, and he realized that somebody was talking to him, but not quite sure. No?
Yeah, and he finds the camera or the microphone or whatever. Yeah. So I like that. I think there's a lot more you could do with it. That's why I want to see more. Because I thought there were lots of different, the mist, it's pheromone, and there's we've been dosing him with this stuff all day long, but apparently his smoking is counteracting it or whatever. So I like that. I didn't quite understand the virgin part. It's like apparently that's part of the curse. Is that the supernatural?
So the whole point of Cabin in the Woods, right, is to take every horror movie trope that has come before it and cram them all into a single movie and address them, which is why the subversion of expectation in the end is so brilliant. Instead of them taking the opportunity to save the planet, save the Earth, she decides that it's not worth saving, and she just lights that joint, kicks back, and watches the world end when she could have saved the world, right? That was the whole point. All they had to do was keep this cycle going. She essentially was put in the position to be a heroine and ultimately chose not to be because humankind wasn't worth saving. Bradley Whitford, star player. Yeah. Sure, right? But I didn't see...
There's a bunch of audio. I'm trying to get rid of the audio.
You mean like a Tales from the Crypt-esque anthology series?
Is it just Skype?
That would be fantastic.
It's better, but it's not gone.
Okay. Yep. Really? And so what? 7? You give it a 7 out of 7? No. Oh, okay. All right. Excellent.
Not
Cole?
bad. I didn't watch it. So.
You didn't? And where would you put
So
it?
give it a 7.
I'd give it about a 5.5. I was expecting Thor to come in and save the day, but it didn't happen.
That's
It was
okay.
before he
There's
was
a
Thor.
good point. There's a good point where they made a weird directing filmmaking decision to show you that bird hits that wall, that it's going to die. So later in the movie, when you know Hemsworth's character is going to make that jump, like you're given the heads up that he's going to die way before it
Does he
happens.
drive a motorcycle into it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought, what an odd choice. Like, why do that? And
Well, I think you were thinking, oh, the hero's not going to die. And then he
Right.
fucking
And it's
explodes.
Hemsworth, so you kind of expect him to be the hero.
yeah, fair enough. It's just an odd choice.
Did that movie come out after Thor or before? I know he
Before.
shot it before Thor.
Before.
Because that... Yeah, because I think he got the role. Whedon was involved with that. Whedon was the one that recommended they hire him because of that movie. But I think it came out afterwards. Kevin the Wiz did. Is the echo still there? Because I've turned down every channel except for the...
I can't hear their audio now.
Can you hear ours?
I can hear yours.
It's time for
Is the
an
echo gone now?
intermission.
Well, let's wrap up this hour then. And we got to add from our liner notes to play.
Yep.
And next hour we got Monkey Poo Studios presents
So-
Mystery Science Oral.
Real quick, we've got to. We're going to get to the thing or no?
The
Did-
thing?
yep.
No, we got 5 minutes. I got to play a 45
All right.
second.
I will
clip
just
from our
say,
sponsors as well.
real quick to wrap that up, John Carpenter's The Thing, starring Kurt Russell, probably one of the most brilliant horror films of my generation with regards to direction. There's phenomenal acting, and the real
That's
application.
the reason why it's stuck around.
The real
Yeah.
thank you. That's the word I was looking for. The practical effects are horrific. Like they are still nightmare-inducing. They're so well done.
Okay.
And no way, no how did the remake sequel do justice at all. Like they should have stuck with practical effects.
And did that star, what's her face from
Mary Elizabeth
Scott-
Winstead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's play the clip.
Let's play the clip. We'll get
Shout out to our boys Chris Meyer and Matt from Reasons Are in FACPA.
from the our liner notes.
I hope you guys hear it.
We'll let the ad play us out, and here we go.
Wow, we missed a ton there.
Third fret.
Yes.
You want
Carry
to
it
take your second finger, and it's on the second string, second fret, and then you want to take your third finger and put it
In your
sixth
butt.
string, third fret.
Okay. All right, I think I've got it.
There you go.
There I go. Where? I'm crap.
You're actually getting better.
Maybe we should just talk about the show. I can do that.
Okay.
This is Matt, and with me is Chris, and we are your hosts of Our Liner Notes, a conversational music podcast.
Each week we use a theme to drive our music choices and share bits of info about the artist and share our own personal stories and experiences.
Wait, hold on. I think I got it.
What the? How did you do that?
Well, I just put my middle finger on the first string, third fret, my index finger on the second string, second fret, and my ring finger on the
Nice. It faded. I think it was supposed to fade.
That's it. Yeah, we're
right? Okay. All right. This is the end of the show. I'm going to close this out, and I hope I bring the sound back better. My apologies to everybody.
Reset Skype, for sure.
Yeah. I don't think it's Skype. I think it's... See ya. Bye, Dan. Thank you.
Good. How you doing?
Not bad. What's your wife's name?
Jen.
Jen, Cole, Grant, Jay, Brian, Kyle.
I already introduced
Oh,
myself.
well, look
I'm
at
not
you.
sure.
And I'm Cole, and Courtney.